Oh my God. And then this segment. Charlotte Flair is in the ring with a crutch. She is here for a medical update after Rhea Ripley chop blocked her last week. Charlotte explains that several NBA players are injured and it's ruining the playoffs. But even worse, Charlotte might miss Money in the Bank. And Rhea Ripley is learning well. She knows she can't beat me, and she did exactly what I would do, except no one is better than Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what any of this means. So Rhea Ripley's music plays, and out comes Rhea Ripley, who was not threatening any Academy Award nominees with her performance, as she came out on her own crutch, pretending to have a bad knee. I guess this was so awful that you were supposed to be in on the joke that she's faking this. So Ripley is in the ring. This is god-awfully long. She says she did exactly what Flair would do, and I'm doing what you're doing now. I can see through you. You're being a drama queen. And then in our next dramatic sequence of spy versus spy, both women dropped their crutches. Their knees are fine. And they proceeded to have a crutch battle. Flair ends up escaping from the ring and holds up her fingers to indicate how close Rhea was to getting her, and just holds her fingers there for everybody to understand this reference of what we were trying to accomplish, and stared at her from the stage. This was among the worst segments I have watched this year on any professional wrestling program. This is a feud that the most positive thing I can say about it is that when it has hit my belief of the absolute depths, it finds new ground to break and reaches another level to make this my least favorite feud of 2021. Congratulations. This was a horrible segment.
This beats any of the Alexa things for you?
I think this one, at least with the Alexa segments, everything's on the table. I understand what I'm getting into. This is just new territory for me of just an awful feud, taking two very talented performers and through this booking, making them absolutely uninteresting on this program. They have done just awful work with these two. I hate this feud. This segment was, I don't know what the idea was, other than they have a match in 2 weeks. They need to be on the show some way. This is what we came up with.
Yeah, I'm guessing like the whole story is that Rhea can be just as big of a heel as Charlotte. You know, like it's almost like, what is it? She's trying to be the bully to teach the bully the lesson. I guess I just don't know. So it's
so
been
last
poorly,
week, Rhea was trying to one up Charlotte by sneak attacking her and chopping her knee that Rhea was supposed to know didn't do any damage to her. This was a completely ineffective move from me that I utilized on you. So she was one step ahead because she's got psychic abilities to know the pain threshold Charlotte can exude. So therefore, this segment where Flair was faking the injury, Rhea is 2 steps ahead, knowing it's a fake injury, and to show this, found her own crutch and decided to come out and fake her own knee injury. And Charlotte was to believe this was a real knee injury, which then places the acting of Rhea Ripley into the equation, which was god-awful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Rhea Ripley is
super simple story to digest.
Supposed to be outsmarting Charlotte. And I guess like that's fine when you just kind of dilute the storyline to that. oh, okay, this is supposed to be Charlotte Flair, who I suppose at this point is we're supposed to believe somehow that she's one of the most cerebral minds in the world of pro wrestling, even though I can't really say throughout her entire WWE run she's been portrayed as maybe, like a Triple H level, Randy Orton level sort of cerebral thinker in her division. Her whole thing is that she's a natural athlete, right? And yet Rhea Ripley in this scenario as a babyface, the way that they want us to like her as a babyface, and yes, she is supposed to be a babyface, everybody, is that she can outthink the thinker. And she does that by doing...
The woman that got confused about the time limit of a 2-minute match is the one outthinking the field.
Yeah, that was terrible with the whole Nikki Cross stuff. And then like part of her outthinking the thinker is getting herself DQ'd by lifting a cover for the announce table. Like that was fucking awful. This was like, I at least think today fit that main story of like, oh, okay, she's outsmarting the bad guy. But by this point, it's way too late. It's none of this is making Rhea Ripley likable at all. It's I would say not the story I think any of us would have gone with when you have Rhea Ripley and Charlotte and the story that they already have built up until this point from the year past. They're definitely
wait a minute. I need to put this. Okay. So the story is that at Hell in a Cell, Rhea Ripley used the desk to get out of the match. That's what the announcers explained that night.
Which is what she says Charlotte would have done.
Okay. So in this scenario, if Rhea was to be aware that Flair is faking this injury, would the step not be to call her bluff and get out of the match? You don't get a title match. You're hurt.
See, that would
Charlotte, you are so smart. You have lost your title match. You are hurt. What's Charlotte's play there? Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know. What is Charlotte's play?
Rhea is then out of... She doesn't have to defend it, and she has outsmarted Charlotte Flair, who has somehow faked an injury to get out of her title match with Rhea Ripley at Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
she had set up at the beginning of this promo. This is the dumbest feud.
It would make a lot more sense if Charlotte was the champion, wouldn't have to defend the belt. But yeah, she's just kind of screwing herself.
No, the challenger is trying to get out of the match.
Yeah, I have no idea. There's no explanation there.
I'm done. I'm only going to put so much thought into some of these stories.